Hey guys, how you doing? Steve here again. I like I promised I would, I compiled a list of some information on some natural supplements, some natural things in your body that can combat depression and anxiety. Now before I get into this, I wanted to let you guys know that excuse me, depression and anxiety are inflammatory illnesses. Now, if you have inflammation, say throughout your body, pain or a cut or a splinter or something like that, you can use medications like Advil or Relieve, Tylenol, etc., etc. These do not break the blood-brain barrier. So, inflammation diseases can be associated with obesity, diabetes, atherosclerosis, hardening, or also known as hardening arteries, asthma, fibromyalgia, forms of cancer, depression, and anxiety. Now, we all know that mood, I'm just reading off paper here, but major depressive disorder is a debilitating condition. You can I know that there's tons of symptoms out there, but sleep disturbances, decreased motor function, concentration, decreased memory, your inability to work, your inability to feel love, to feel emotion, and it also, unfortunately, nationwide, takes the lives by suicide of about 30,000 Americans each year. So, what I'm basically trying to say is that an inflamed brain is a depressed brain. So what I want to get to first is omega-3. Now these are fatty acids in fish oil. It's shown, and I've read up and watched plenty of videos, that your brain is made up of 60% of fat. Now, you can have good fats and bad fats in your diet. The good fats are omega-3s. These consist of ALAs, EPAs, and DHAs. The EPA has shown more efficiency in people or patients with depression and anxiety when you consume 1,000 or more milligrams per day of EPA. So depending on your supplement, depending on your fish oil supplement, you have to look at the ingredient and try and find out how many pills you're going to have to take to reach that 1,000 to 2,000 mark. Now, it's shown in scientific studies that this EPA is a type of acid, and it helps to, I guess the common term would be like a rubber band factor. It helps pull your neurotransmitters together. It improves proper brain function by doing that, bringing your neurotransmitters together, creates clearer pathways. Now, if you don't know what neurotransmitters are, picture your brain is like the universe. All the stars. There's millions and billions of stars. We can't see them all because they're light years away, but just picture that one of your stars are flickering, or one of your stars have gone out, or multiple of them are flickering, or multiple of your stars in your brain, your neurotransmitters, have gone out. This can cause anything, any type of mental health issue. It can cause symptoms of depression, anxiety. It can cause symptoms like schizophrenia, ADHD, multiple personality disorder, bipolar disorder, if it's out there, omega-3s can definitely help because it decreases the inflammation in your brain. Now, studies have shown that the omega-6 acids, which are made up of LAs, GLAs, and the main one are AAs. These are all acids, but they're bad fatty acids when they're consumed too much. So studies have shown that we consume a ratio of 20 to 1. So that's 20 to 1 bad to good. So we're consuming too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3. Now omega-6 comes from a lot of the cheaper foods. I would say like simple carbohydrates, vegetable oils, the cheap stuff, fast food, really cheap boxed groceries, stuff that's not healthy for you mostly contains ingredients that are used or in conjunction with omega-6. So diet is key here. Now we can't get these omega-6 and omega-3s within our own body. They're a supplement. So getting your omega-3 fatty acids 1,000 milligrams or more, up to 2,000 milligrams, shows extreme improvement. So I would suggest you get these good fats in your body and avoid the bad fats. So check up on your diet, research this, go over it with your doctor. Make sure you get your doctor's approval, especially if you're on any other medications, any other supplements. Talk to your doctor about omega-3s. You can get prescription omega-3. What else do I have here today? I'm going to start with the good stuff and then the questionable stuff. Next one would be vitamin B's and vitamin D's. First, I'll start with the vitamin B's. Now, the reason why I'm starting with omega-3 supplements and B's and D supplements is because when I had my DNA test done, it concluded that I could use complementary or supplementary treatments, and these were on the list. And they haven't been prescribed to me or suggested to me by my psychiatrist whatsoever. So I figured let's do some studying on it. Now, B complex vitamins. Your B6 and your B3 are the ones that play the major role. B6 and B3 helps convert the amino acid tryptophan into serotonin. Now, tryptophan can be found in a lot of like poultry, eggs, and like turkey, chicken, stuff like that. When you have Thanksgiving dinner and you ate too much turkey and you feel like falling asleep, that's tryptophan. Now, if your B6 and your B3 are fine, if you got those checked out and they're within decent range, a good alternative can be turning to checking out your B12 and your folic acid, because these are precursors to the production of serotonin, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and dopamine. So these are all major neurotransmitters in your brain, levels in your body that can be preventing you from getting better, can be preventing you from living a healthy and happy life. So please get these checked out. These are major components in your diet and supplements you can take that are already in your brain. Now, the next one I want to touch on is vitamin D. This is a huge one. I had this tested and my test results came back as a severe deficiency. So I currently take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin D per day, and I'm going to have my blood checked within 3 months, which I suggest you do if you're going to go on to vitamin D. Now, before you go on vitamin D, just like the vitamin Bs, and just like the omega-3s, please check with your doctor first. Talk with your doctor about these. Vitamin D is called the sunshine vitamin. It's been known to have, people have been known to have a deficiency if they have darker skin. So in African Americans, they are more prone to vitamin D deficiency. I'm half Spanish, so my tan that I naturally get can, I guess, help block some of the sun rays and reduce my vitamin D. Vitamin D can also be found lower in people when it's winter time, winter and fall, because you don't get as much of that vitamin D. You're staying inside more. You don't get as much from the sun. Now you can also get it from foods, fruits and vegetables, but it might not be enough. So vitamin D also plays a role in cholesterol. Your levels of your cholesterol. If your vitamin D is low, your body cannot process and deal with cholesterol properly. So, coincidentally enough, I have high cholesterol. Now, I also have low vitamin D, so that kind of goes hand in hand. So, other benefits are healthy teeth, healthy bones, cell growth, immune system function, and it promotes calcium absorption, so that goes straight to your bones and your teeth. It also improves your neurotransmitter function. So this is what I'm getting to, guys. All this stuff is connected. Your neurotransmitter, your main universe, your brain. If one thing is flickering, if one thing is out, if one thing is low, it can affect everything else. Now the normal range for someone with vitamin D is 50 to 100 nanograms per milliliter. So when you get your vitamin D checked, that should be what you're in range of. Mine, I think, was 23, so I'm severely low. What else can we do here? Vitamin D receptors are in the same area of the brain associated with your serotonin and your dopamine and norepinephrine and epinephrine receptors, so they're associated with your depression. So vitamin D is right around the same ballpark. If you have low vitamin D, you might not know it, but you may experience aching bones, fatigue, weakness, muscle and or joint pain. Now, this is where it comes really into focus. You may also experience sadness, hopelessness, thoughts of suicide, insomnia, excessive sleep, loss of interest, weight gain or weight loss, problems concentrating, forgetfulness, loss of libido, that's loss of your sex drive, headaches, backaches, and anxiety. That sounds a hell of a lot like depression to me. So definitely talk with your doctor about supplementing if you are low on vitamin D. Please, please, please check with your doctor and have your blood work done before you go through and medicate yourself, because you don't want to self-diagnose yourself. You also don't want to self-medicate. I strongly, throughout this video, will remind you, please talk with your doctor about this. Now we get into the somewhat new stuff that I've learned about. There's an amino acid in your brain called 5-HTP. That's 5-hydroxytryptophan. It's a natural precursor in the synthesis of neurotransmitter serotonin. There's people out there who are taking this in place of an antidepressant. Some are taking it with their antidepressant, only under the supervision of their doctor, because it can boost serotonin production. Now, some people will advise, well, I advise, please do not take these if you're taking any type of antidepressant without checking with your doctor, because you can get a very serious condition called serotonin syndrome, which can lead to a very, very high increase in serotonin, which will lead to coma or death. And that's pretty serious if you ask me. Now, 5-HTP works in the brain and works in your nervous system. So it can help with anxiety. Anything to do with your nervous system has to do with anxiety. It's used for sleep disorders, depression, anxiety, much like omega-3 is. Now, 5-HTP is produced from a woody African shrub called Griffonia simplicifolia. Now, it helps to create the conversion into, helps convert serotonin and melatonin. Some people suggest it's not good for long-term use because it can eventually decrease your dopamine levels. A lot of people I've found that they use B6 and 5-HTP together, and they're essential to work with each other. This is an amino acid that's more useful in a fat-soluble version. This helps to decrease side effects. Now, they say a spray version is available, which will decrease the risk of gastrointestinal side effects such as diarrhea. It says to avoid use while pregnant. So if you are pregnant, obviously if you're a woman, try and veer away from using this supplement. Allergic reactions to this can be severe tingling, numbness, skin rash, bruising, fever, muscle pain, and weakness. Common side effects can be drowsiness, nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, heartburn, diarrhea, loss of libido. And you don't want to use it with an antidepressant, carbidopa, I don't know what that is, narcotic medicines, or DM cough syrup. So you definitely want to consult with your doctor before using this supplement, especially if you're on any of those. Now, if you're not on any antidepressants, there's people who have found help from this 5-HTP using 150 milligrams to 300 milligrams per day for depression. It's shown, there's been some studies showing that some people will have an increase in anxiety if doses are taken higher than 225 milligrams per day. So this is an option, but like I said, consult with your doctor before you dive down this road or drive down this road and try this supplement out. But it is a natural supplement. It is in your brain already, so it can't be too terrible, in my opinion. Now you have, where's another one here? Let me try and find it. This one is called tyrosine, and you might find it on the market or in stores as L-Tyrosine. It's an amino acid, shows improvement on depression and anxiety. It's helpful for your nervous system, and it's a precursor for dopamine and norepinephrine. So in other words, it's a stimulant for energy, cognitive health, and good for neurotransmitter activity, mental clarity, and motivation. Most people, most things I've read said it's not an everyday supplement because you can build a tolerance to it. Now, I've seen people and read articles suggesting between 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams, maybe once or twice a week. I would definitely do your own research on this because it seems like a hit or miss supplement, tyrosine. I saw the video with Jim Carrey He's on tyrosine himself. He used that to combat his depression. And he was talking to Larry King. He also recommended the 5-HTP as a natural supplement. Now, unfortunately, these are also like antidepressants in the way that you have to find the right dose in order to work with each other. So, it could take some trial and error. It could mean that one doesn't work for you and it's not going to work for you. And it could mean that you just need a little more or a little less. But like I said, guys, before you try tyrosine, it's something you have to consult with your doctor, especially if you're on any type of medications. The last one I want to touch on, which I have some more information on, is theanine or theanine. It works on your GABA receptor. Now, your GABA receptor is GABA, stands for gamma amino butyric acid. It's an amino acid. Well, theanine is an amino acid found in tea leaves. Most people take this at night because of its calming effects. It can be found by drinking stuff like green teas and other types of teas naturally, but you won't get as much as you would from a supplement as far as milligrams goes. It's been shown to have helpful qualities in curing and or alleviating depression and anxiety, because they go hand in hand, anxiety and depression. So being calm, I know when you're depressed, you get anxious because you don't know why you're depressed and why you're feeling so down. So they go hand in hand. So theanine can help you calm down. I've read that you can take no more than 600 milligrams a day, and that seems to be the highest you should be taking, but definitely consult with your doctor. Most people I've seen have taken or suggested 100 to 300 milligrams, and that has shown to work the best for them. Some people spread out their dose throughout the day because it can cause drowsiness or calming, so your energy may be lacking. But if you have too much energy from your anxiety, this is a good way to combat it. Now, you also want to check for an ingredient in theanine or theanine. Check for suntheanine. These are the most pure that I've seen, and you want to check for at least 50 to 100 milligrams of suntheanine in your L-theanine supplement. Now, like I said before, guys, please check with your doctor before trying these out. This is something that really caught my mind, and it wasn't the most organized video, but hopefully I got a lot of information out there to you guys. Now, there are more supplements and there are more amino acids and vitamins and stuff like that you can take, but these seem to be the one that pop up the most for me. So just remember that your brain's like one big universe with all the stars, and if one star's out, if one star's flickering, it could disrupt the rest of them. It's kind of like a house. Picture your house. It has electricity running through it. Now, say the lights go out in one section of the house, it usually means a fuse is blown. Maybe a fuse is blown in your brain, and you need a supplement or a medication to put the fuse back on to get the electricity flowing again, to get that section of the house, that section of your brain working. So this is the best way I can put it to you guys. Try and think of your mind as a universe, as a swimming pool, as a house, however you want to do it. But you want to try and find out what's going on up here, because that's where all your problems are. It's inflammation of your brain, anxiety and depression. And something is misfiring, something's not on. something is not working properly. So you want to get to the bottom of it, just like I am. I will admit, going through all of this stuff and reading more about it, I got anxiety. Just because I've said in previous videos, trying new stuff and learning about new stuff, I'm skeptical about trying new things because I'm afraid of being let down. I'm afraid of possible side effects, but not as much with these, because these are natural supplements and not man-made in a lab somewhere. Some other notable ones I found were the levels of your glutamic acid. You know, that's why a lot of companies stopped using MSG, because MSG was a huge like salt supplement, I believe, that excited your neurotransmitters beyond belief, which created tremendous stress and it was just unhealthy for you. And then there's people out there who are using magnesium citrate or magnesium supplements. I haven't done any research on those. My head was spinning by the end of looking into tyrosine. You know, my anxiety just got out of control, so I figured I'd stop my research there and share with you what I had. So if you're looking for a more holistic, a more natural way to avoid using, or maybe use in conjunction with your antidepressants and your anti-anxiety medications, these may be some good tips. If you liked anything in my video, please give me a like. If you have any questions about what I read or where I found it, shoot me a comment. If you want to hear more stories and how my depression and anxiety is going, hit the subscribe button, guys. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to hear what I have to say, because I think what I'm saying is what a lot of people are missing. So, like I say every time, guys, if you're hurting, if you're sad, you're lonely, you're down and out, you keep your head up, you keep fighting, and you keep surviving. Right now, my anxiety got so bad that it increased my depression, so I'm going to go for a walk, even though it's hot as balls outside. And then I'm going to take I'm going to eat dinner, and then I'm going to take my fish oil. So, I know fish oil, I talked with my doctor. That's fine to take for now. As far as the other ones, I have to talk to my psychiatrist about, because my primary care physician is not the most knowledgeable when it comes to psychiatric drugs. So I'm going to bring this to her attention sooner rather than later. And like I said before, guys, please consult with your doctor before you try any of these supplements. And if your doctor doesn't know much about them, find a doctor who does, because this could be the difference between you being on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications your entire life, or having to increase or change your medications every so often, which is something that I'm kind of in the middle of. My Pristiq isn't 100% working as well as it used to, which intrigued me to further look into this type of treatment. So guys, again, consult with your doctor. Good luck with your mood disorder, and I'll talk to you guys soon.